So traditional marketing, TV-like stuff, mass traditional marketing, is not as effective. It doesn't mean you throw it out, but you need to be looking at new ways. So the TV industrial complex is starting to diminish. So we need to think of different ways. This is just an example of what you call mass media marketing, and would you believe $85 million was spent creating a talking oven mitt to actually spread the message with the voice of Tom Arnold. So what's happening is that mass traditional marketing, what they're trying to do is actually they'll try anything and throw billions of dollars at it just to get a result. The reality is that I think the numbers are about 18% of all traditional mass marketing actually gets a return on investment. So we're in an age now where they've got too little time and too many choices. So what do? So mass marketing is about selling these average products. But trying to sell to the majority, they've got so much mass media, they've got so much TV, the mass majority does sit down in front of TV every night and just sits there and vegetates. So, but they've got so much noise at them, do they respond to that? But they're not listening. So this strategy is not working anymore. So how do you reach and spread your word? How do you spread your business's ideas? Okay, what you've got to do is you've got to start to market to those that really care, that will tell others. And I've met a few of you here tonight that have told others to come along to here because you didn't receive an email, but you told others. And what's really interesting is that people believe 74% of what their peers say, whereas an advertisement is about 17%. So the power of actually people spreading ideas and spreading their message and content using social media via their friends is a very effective way to go. So if you have the early adopters innovators, these people are passionate about what they do. They're absolutely passionate to the point of obsession. They'll take on the people that line up for 24 hours to get their iPad. Okay, we saw that recently in Sydney. Some people line up for 2 days. And they'll wait in the rain. These are the people that you should be talking to. And the Japanese have a term called otaku, which is bordering on obsession. They'll drive across town in the middle of the night to buy that latest fad, to get that greatest sauce, that latest food, that latest fashion. So we're going to sell to those people who are listening, not the ones that are actually not listening anymore. And to give you an idea, is that Apple's become a phenomenon, it's almost become a fashion item, it's become a tribe in its own right. And when Steve Jobs gets up to speak, what you'll find out is that 50,000 people tune in for a 2-hour advert from 130 countries. And guess what? Do you think it's a mass majority? No, it's the early adopters and the innovators. And they're the people you're trying to reach. Pearl Jam. In the last decade, they sold 96 albums in 2 years. Do you think they sold it doing $1 million TV ads? They sold 96 albums, they all made a profit, and they all did it through their website. They were selling to their fans who told others about it. The Dutch Boy Paint Company, they created a can that people talked about. So the power of social media is basically getting other people to talk about you and sharing it online. I'm going to show you some of the leverage of what can be done with that. So what you've got to do is you've got to work out what people want and give it to them. You've got to listen. And what's really great about the Web 2.0 space, which is about interaction, I remember and I think a lot of you might have websites currently that actually are what I call one-dimensional. All they're about is putting up information and you don't receive any feedback. What you're trying to do and what you get with social media is you get comments, you get feedback, and you can adjust what you're doing. And you can do it in real time. So being safe, sticking with traditional media as your only form of communication is you're lost in the crowd. You're talking to the mass majority. They're not listening anymore. They're turned off. So what you've got to start doing is thinking digitally. I came across a statistic the other day that really scared me, and so we work in the web digital space, and that's what, well, it's an opportunity, is that 45% of small business owners don't have a website. And 50% of those that don't have a website don't think the internet is important at all. Now, it's not the saviour of your business. You've got to be able to do everything else right. You've got to be able to do the books. You've got to be able to do the other marketing. You've got to be able to balance the books. You've got to be able to make money. You've got to be able to do pictures. You've got to be able to do proposals. You've got to do all of that. But you've got to start to think digitally. There's a real split between people actually advertising and how people find you. And it seems that people, no matter how you look at it, is that even though they'll look for their own products and look for products online and buying 93% of them, is that they still don't translate that into their business. So you're going to start thinking digitally. And we live in the digital space, so we're maybe bordering on telling other people about it because we actually have to live and breathe that space. But a lot of you are busy running businesses that you have to do the mundane day-to-day. What I'm trying to do today is paint you a picture, maybe disturb you, to actually give you encouragement and then show you some ways in which to actually take your business to another level using some tools that you're very uncomfortable with and don't know how to use. So what we're going to think about is we're going to think about how can I use YouTube for marketing? How can I use Google and search engine optimization? How can I integrate my email and my social media? How can I use Twitter? How can I use blogging? How can I use Facebook and LinkedIn? So social media is not Facebook, it's made of many different things. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at the 5 major channels that have the most traffic and also have the different ways of communicating that will be very useful for your business. So what we're going to do now is just give you some perspective of what's happening in the digital social media space. This is a short 4-minute YouTube video which will give you some idea of the numbers and what's happening in the social media and digital space.